I wish I was 18. I wish I felt great because I don't feel more at home, besides in the arms of my wife, than I do on a campus. I just feel at home.
Welcome to another edition of What's Your Story, a WWE and Fanatics original production. You like that? very, very professional. That's how we do the professional intro. Pro. So we're here to introduce the second part of what was an incredible experience and conversation with John Cena, who is one of the all-time GOATs of our business and who is retiring at the end of 2025. We're here at SummerSlam now, where this is his last ever SummerSlam competing in the ring. It's a huge match against Cody Rhodes. He just turned back babyface, so we think. I hope not. I hope not. But
loves the heels.
That's where we are. I do prefer the heels, but he probably, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to see what happens here tonight. It's going to be an amazing match. I know that. And heel or babyface, they're going to tear the house down. And this interview was really a very special opportunity and conversation. One that I've actually never really had with John before. So I hope you enjoy part two. It is based off of, it is the additional footage that was not put into Stephanie's Places. So it is a little bit of a different format. Unfortunately, Elise is...
You can't
She
see
was
me.
there, but yeah. See?
Nailed it.
See? I told you guys she's funny. But I hope we hope you enjoy it. Here's part two. This is not talked about, and it's something that I think is so remarkable. First of all, you learning Chinese has been talked about, right? You learn this incredibly difficult language. I want to ask you first, why? Mm-hmm. And second of all, you then go to China and you shoot a movie with Jackie Chan. Mm-hmm. And you only speak Chinese. Like you said, when you first got there, there was a little bit of English, but then it had to all be in Chinese. You had to challenge yourself mentally and physically in ways you never had before, and you were there for months.
Yeah, about 8 months.
8 months, almost a year. I mean, that's a risk, right? That's putting yourself out there. I mean, what compelled you to do that? How did you get there? And again, what was like your greatest takeaway?
So thank you for the question. The incredible thing is the takeaway is a very important lesson. So why did I learn Chinese? Because the WWE rolled out a talent-friendly initiative in around 2012, where they set us all in like an assembly hall, and every paid talent was told, like, we will help you with secondary education. We will help you get a college degree. We will get you second languages for free. We will get you financial advice. We will make sure you're seen by the best medical professionals. And I am sitting in the front row going, these motherfuckers don't need to do any of this. These guys don't know how good they got it. I'm going to raise my hand, stand up and address this group and say, you motherfuckers better do this stuff. And halfway through, I'm like, nope, I'm just going to do it. And I looked at our map at the time, and the only hotspot we didn't have was China. We had never been there. They didn't understand us. And part of my why of being a WWE superstar, I wasn't keeping track of championships or anything like that. I wanted to leave the business better than I found it. And that was like young age stuff of like, leave this place better than you found it. In a quest to do that, man, if I can open up this territory, I'm leaving it better than when I found it. So, start studying. WWE gets me a tutor. They come to my house on my days off. Study for years on my off days, a couple hours at a time, taking Chinese class. It's a slog.
It's a very difficult language.
It's tough. We get to go to Shanghai for the World Expo. I to do a partnership speech in Chinese in Shanghai to announce a partnership in WWE in China. I can remember it was probably sounded like third grader Chinese, but I can remember the moment of seeing the people take off their translator headsets.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, this might work. And it did for a short period of time, but then it didn't. We still don't have a presence there. It's a different cultural gap.
It's a different time right now in the world as well.
Sure, all that stuff, that's going to come into play later on in the story. But then I'm like, oh man, I've wasted all this time. And then I got a phone call from Jackie Chan's people. Jackie was supposed to do a movie with Sylvester Stallone. Jackie saw that press conference and was like, who's this kid? Put him in this movie. And I got a call saying like, hey, you can work with Jackie Chan, who's one of the greatest physical storytellers of our generation. He's like the Charlie Chaplin.
He's amazing.
It's going to involve you living in China. And I'm like, man, this will be great. I can go work on my Chinese. I get to do a movie with one of the greats. It's going to be fantastic. And I'll be the throw people guy, and he'll be the stunty guy. And the reason I was there for so long is because sometimes they shift production in China without telling you. And I got there in like May, and we were supposed to shoot in the second week of May, and they moved the shoot to September, and they didn't want me to go home. So I got to be part of the Jackie Chan stunt family for a few months, and we worked out twice a day for 4.5 hours a session, and it was all the stuff that I hate. I like this stuff. But it was all like parkour and flexibility, martial arts, boxing.
What was is there a story of some disaster that befell you, or like parkour,
No.
you tried to run up a wall?
No, they were good about like, walk out of here. That's the goal. Make sure you walk out, but we are going to break you down. And I think the humiliating things are like, for the flexibility stuff, I wasn't exactly flexible. They would have like one person grab my front leg, one person grab my rear leg, 2 dudes under each arm, and be like, in Chinese they would say fen song, which is relax, 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 and they would just move you. I'm like, ah, nah, 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 nah. It was great meditation, but it was the first time I had ever been soaked in sweat from stretching. And that was like the warm-up. And then we started to work, and all that activity, which I certainly wasn't used to, I dropped a ton of weight, and I also dropped a ton of strength. I went to China at like 255 pounds. I came back about 235 pounds. And that's kind of where I'm living now. I feel great. I was telling you, I was taller.
Yeah.
I could move better. I was healthier. So a great experience, but here's the biggest takeaway. So I lived there. My language was getting better. I wanted to set another goal for myself. Fast and Furious comes around. And I'm like, oh, we're doing international media. I'm going to do 70% of my media in Chinese, in Mandarin. No problem. They set me up on a publicity day like this, where I'm just doing outlets, 60 outlets. I did 40 of them in Mandarin. And then they had me do prompter reads. And I fucked up big. And just reading what was on the prompter. I didn't check myself. I just got in a steady state of flow. I'm like, man, I can read this. This is great. And I said some things that offended a whole lot of people. And the trickle-down effect of that was then I had to apologize, and that offended a whole bunch more people.
Kind of a no-win.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
And
a big no-win.
yes. So I behaved outside of my values. Just
Because
to try,
you were just reading.
just to try. I wasn't present,
You weren't present.
and because I got stuck to a goal, I didn't look at the nuance of the goal, and in turn offended a whole lot of people. But that's actually been a great takeaway for me, because the takeaway I had was, just because you know the language doesn't mean you know the culture. And there is a huge difference between the two. And if you think you are ready to thrive in a culture because you know the language, you need to know the culture as well. And I spent so much time on the words and the language and not at all any time on the culture. And because I thought that I could just fit right in, I behaved outside of my values, offended everybody, and no one was happy. And it was a really tough situation. It's one of those growth through discomfort. I felt like the whole world is talking about me and feeling a certain way, and this is like, this is not who I am. But I understand why you feel that way, and I can't really argue this with you. And it was tough. It was tough. I remember I was shooting Peacemaker season 1 at the time. And I walked into James Gunn. I'm like, if you gotta let me go, I understand. James Gunn, who has been canceled before, looked at me. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You ready to get to work? Let's go." And he was the voice I needed at that time to be like, "You will get through this. Time vindicates good work. And this was a slip up. It is not who you are. Did you learn something from this? Cool. That's a good lesson going forward. Learn to be more present. Learn to understand what you're reading. Learn that just because you know the language doesn't mean you know the culture. And respect to all cultures is allowing the culture to do its thing. And if you want to hop in that pool, you got to be accountable. I thought I could just breeze in, speak my thing, and not be accountable for anything I said just because I'm speaking the language. That's not fair. And that, what a great question for you to bring up, because that's the best takeaway I got from that. And it was like one of the big missteps I've had, and something that I carried a shame for a long time. And then finally got to the point of it is not who you are. The people who know you. The people who want to skewer you over this, you are never going to change their mind, pal. Just do the best you can every day to do the best you can. And that's my takeaway to that. And it was awesome to go through, to eat that plate of shit.
Because there's a lesson in everything if you want to learn it.
But boy, and right in that moment, could I blame the person that did the teleprompter?
Sure,
could I blame
right?
the publicist? Could I blame the studio? Could I blame anybody in the room for being like, why the fuck didn't you have my back? Nope. My fault. What did I learn? What can I do better? And by the way, I'm getting another chance. And not okay, you have another chance to be exactly where you are. I mean another chance by eyes are open, still alive, still in the game.
Yep.
Let's see what cards we got to play. All right, let's go.
And don't let it destroy you. Because that shame.
Man.
Man.
It's okay to put your toe in the pool. You just can't get stuck in there.
Right. You got to pull yourself out.
Yes.
And learn. Right? Because that is learning, is moving forward.
China was huge for that. I just got out over my skis, and I got right crossed when I needed it to. And it was awesome because so much stuff was going good. And it was man, you got to be accountable for everything.
Here's a big question.
Yeah.
How did you meet your wife, your bride?
So this goes in line with kind of my whole life, by accident. All this stuff. And that's another thing about to circle back about you talked a little bit about goals, or how do you plan for risks, or what's the plan ahead. I always just kind of let life deal me the cards, and then I have been, if I could say there's the one quality that sticks out, it has been knowing that this could be something, and it's time to push some chips in. I'll bet on a shitty hand, because I think it's time. Never should have been a wrestler. I was supposed to be. Hell, I don't know what I was supposed to be. I was trying to be a Marine.
Really?
And ended up with you guys, and then
I did not know that
work
piece.
out, and then you happen to overhear me, and then you being like, "Yeah, do you want to do this on TV?" And then the simple choice of do I want to dress cool or do I want to dress outlandish? I learned from not standing out to stand out and try to do this, and then it's all an accident. I got run out of the movie business by doing a bunch of bad movies, and then by accident, somebody was like, "Oh, I saw you on this show. You want to do this bit part?" oh man, they're filming a movie down in Long Island. I'm going to call Tina Fey. You should put this kid in the movie. Do you want to go? Yes. I'll figure the rest out. It was Super Bowl about 6 years ago, and the Patriots are playing, and that was when I was devoted to the Patriots. And I didn't want to leave my apartment in Vancouver. I just got there. I was starting to film a movie because I didn't want to jinx the team.
Of course,
Because
we all
if
have so
I
much
go
impact
out,
on it.
I will absolutely impact the space-time continuum,
And
which
if you
will
didn't
cause.
wear your specific hat with the socks.
Yes. A friend of mine convinced me to go out to a hole in the wall that was within walking distance. I said, fine, no problem. He just needed a wingman. Cool, no problem. But I got to watch the game, quiet spot. In walks a group of 4, and I can't take my eyes off of Shay. And she wasn't supposed to be there either. Like, Vancouver is a very small community. She lived in you only stay in your little space. And she lived over in one space. And one of her friends was like, we should go across town to this other place. And I wasn't at a happening place. They just wanted to go. So they walked in. They're in the booth right across from us. So I'm watching their TV. They're watching mine. And I'm just doing this. And my team is winning. And I don't give a fuck. And I don't have the bravery to break the ice.
Is she looking back?
I would like to say yes,
She doesn't necessarily.
but not enough for me to go up and be like, hey, what's going on? So the game ends, and I'm about to go. And her friend comes up. It's like, hey, can I have a picture with you? I'm like, only if I can get a picture with her. And she's, well, to be honest, I didn't want a picture with you. I was asking for her anyway. I'm like, you're kidding me. So we get together, and I'm like, hey, could I give you my phone number, or could I have yours? And she said, yes. And it was like, hey, will you message me sometime? I was 10 steps out of that joint. When I stopped, went into a back alley in Vancouver, and was like, I need to spend more time with you. This is the next 4 months of my life. I have a bit of a complex, abnormal situation, but I'd be willing to talk about it. And she said, sure, is Wednesday cool? I said, I'll make it happen. And man, we met back at the same place on that day, and we sat down at 6, and they kicked us out at 1 a.m. Just me and her.
Just talking.
And then we did it again, and we did it again. And 6 years later, we just got home from Budapest. We went out to dinner. We sat down at 5:30, and we pulled in the garage at 1:30 in the morning. So we just, man, I met her by accident, but I was willing to see the energy and be like, man, push in on this, see where it takes you.
Do you believe in destiny?
I don't know. I gotta believe in luck. I think this is what I believe. I believe the universe is too busy to be against one human being. So when people are
But could it be for?
So I guess the reciprocal would have to be correct. The universe would be too busy to be for one human being. I think every day life puts opportunities in front of you that you can push in or fold. And we can only control how we react to what life gives us. So doing this, you taking the conversation where it wants to take you. I've been able to shed a lot of the weight on my backpack. Imagine that, this place, just by talking to you and just by you listening and being like, I'd like to ask this question and steer the conversation this way. And you're going against what your producers are telling you. You're reacting to what you get. And this has been awesome for me. And it's been long overdue for us, I feel. So there's that. This is a place for me to push in. So I don't know about destiny. I don't. There's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of space out there. We're just a small thing, I just think decide the moments you want to push in on,
So Earth, tiny blue speck.
Yeah.
And you say,
Pale blue dot.
that's right. Nothing means anything.
Yeah.
Then,
I say that like with the best of intentions.
but
Like,
that's why I want to dig in.
yeah, like I think there's so much beauty in that. Just like there's so much beauty in the pale blue dot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please expound. That's what I
I
wanted.
need more from you.
No.
That's it. That's the end of it.
The pale blue dot is all about perspective,
Yeah.
right? And it was, I can't remember the science behind it, but it was this image that was taken of space.
Rob, pale blue dot. Yep. There you go.
So Carl Sagan, thank you, Rob, in space, right, turns around and takes the reverse image. It's not from Earth's perspective out. It's from the universe's perspective of Earth.
Yep.
And it's this tiny, very, very tiny speck. I'm picturing the image in my mind right now. It's like the smallest.
Yeah.
You can hardly even see it.
Yeah.
And so the notion is how big everything is and how could we really matter. And that teeny tiny blue dot,
Just a grain of sand on the beach.
grain of sand. So many different lives in this grain of sand. So many different struggles, achievements, successes, so much life, teeming with life. But you were saying that it doesn't matter. People, I want to understand what you mean by that, because I don't think what you're saying is your life doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying the opposite. Life is the greatest gift of all. To be a grain of sand on the beach is dope. Like, that's fantastic. I guess I want to clarify that I say that it doesn't matter with beauty. Maybe a better underpinning of that is if you are living life for anyone else, that is a waste. We don't talk about Ben Franklin a ton, or Andrew Carnegie, or Rockefeller, like Genghis Khan. Napoleon's really not dominating the conversation. These are people that did amazing things. And we don't ever talk about them. There's a few names that stand the test of limited history, but some of the most important historical figures, for whatever they did, not negative or positive, we don't even talk about, because they don't matter. But back then, it was everything. It's like, that's it. And it's nothing. Because we tend to care about what's going on with us and care about the now. And that's all awesome. I just, like, when people lean into concepts like immortality and like legacy, a lot of the retirement questions have been like, what do you want your legacy to be? I don't care. I don't. What I'm grateful for is I had a chance to be the man in the fucking arena. That is beautiful. And I realized that, I might have a chance to do this. And I'm going to do it. Like, that's it for me. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care. The best thing for business would be for me to never be spoken about again, because that means the class that is present is running at full speed, and you don't need to remember anything about that. Like, and I don't need the validation after that chapter closes that, oh man, you did great. Remember this thing? Those are awesome. Like, I reflect on memories and moments in my life, and they bring me joy. But allow me to have that and that joy.
It's just not about other people or what they think. It's about your life and what you accomplish for yourself and the goals that you set.
If when December comes and the final thing happens and I'm out and like I'm never talked about again, I'm still good. And it's not going to shortchange any of the seconds that I spent in the ring. And I'm also I'm trying to follow in your footsteps. I'm trying to be a great spokesperson and a great advocate for something I love and something I believe in and something that's close to me. But man, I guess if you are working for immortality, you might miss being in the thing. You might miss being present. And if you're working for legacy, you might miss the cool moments that happen. And sometimes, I mean, for me, this has been a byproduct of just being in the cool moment. And like, okay, I have this match coming up. How can I make it more meaningful? How can I make it stand out? How can we do something that's cool? Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you get 25 years of trying, hopefully you got more good ones than bad. And that means you can keep doing the thing as long as you want, you know?
And being present.
I guess so. I don't know. And again, that's only my perspective. I'm
Right.
not,
But that's what I want to know is your perspective.
yeah, like, man,
Because everyone's different,
yes, there are
right?
8 billion folks on the rock, but there was a time when there were none. And, you know, another stat to go along with the pale blue dot is I read a book on the history of intelligence, and it kind of put like space in a distance and timeline of like the sun has X trillion years before it burns out, and all the galaxies have about X quadrillion years before they entropy. So the amount of energy that it would take to fail everything, if you were to put that in a timeline from Jan 1 to December 31st, we right now sit 7 minutes into January 1st. That's gnarly. Like, there'll still be stuff when we're not around. So it doesn't matter. Like if you're
Focus on
planting
your
your flag to be like, they're never gonna forget this. They are, because a quadrillion years from now, they're gonna worry about I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
It may not even be us, you know, like, but I guess if you, like when I do walk away from this, I will walk away fulfilled and not having been like, if I'd only, and I don't even know what the next X amount of dates look like, whether I'm going to be the shits or the matches are going to be good or bad, or people are going to buy. I know you will get everything that I have. I will not leave a drop of sweat behind. And I will do my best. And like, that's all I've ever done. And I've hit and I've missed. And
you've learned.
And I'll be
And
okay.
you've grown.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's what I mean by like,
It doesn't matter what other people
yeah.
think. And it's not about future end states that God only knows when they're going to happen.
Make sure the sleep is sound. You know, try to, and I've learned that through failure of like a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of experimenting to try to find out how to sleep sound. But make sure the sleep is sound. Like,
And earn your sunset.
the sleep is really sound when you do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that's it. And then again, we could talk in 2 years and be like, "No, I was kidding. This is the most important thing." You know, I don't know. But then again, I also don't know, and I think like that could be one of the most important things. When the facts change, so does my opinion. Staying curious of like, just because I feel this way and I say things that might elicit an emotional response from your viewers and be like, "Well, I don't believe that." That's great. Let's be curious about that. Maybe somebody out there can be like, "Hey, dude, you said this. These are the 3 things I think that are fucked up about that." And then I can be like, "Never thought about that before." Man, you've been responsible for a lot of those never thought about that before moments.
I think you give me way too much credit. Like, way too much credit.
You never know how you affect people.
I guess that's true.
And I would say the same thing. When I've been able to meet a lot of folks and shake a lot of hands and hear a lot of stories, and I was certainly not trying to orchestrate any of the things that I've heard, but to hear those things and to hear that they're genuine is like, man, I never let that settle. I'm always like, please, you did the work. Like whatever you're telling me right now, I'm so glad I could be a nice spark for you to be like, I got to do this with my life. But I wasn't trying to do that. I was just trying to have the sleep be sound, you know?
Right? You were the unexpected influence. Ultimately, they had to do the work.
Just like you to me. You're like, you're giving me way too much credit. I disagree. So that's that.
Do you feel, now you're almost at the end, right? This is the last year, 2025,
Yeah, I know.
right? Do you feel you've left WWE in a better place than how you found it? I
do. It's different, and there are things I romanticize about that I wish everyone involved with the WWE could experience. But again, I'm not meeting the place where it's at. And that's me wanting to be like, why can't you just do this? It's just not that way anymore. But I think overall, man, strictly from an analytic standpoint, sure. I came in, you guys are trading at $5.
Yeah, I guess we were public at that time.
Sure were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I came in.
2006,
I came in with a name change. Everybody either hurt or left, and the XFL. And then,
First iteration.
yep,
Yeah.
and then the housing crisis. I remember some lean years. I remember I was really trying to pull together my beans when it was like at $6.40 a share. I'm like, man,
Come on now.
could I buy this place and just kick everybody out of the writers' room and do some crazy shit? Let's have some fun. And I obviously did not do that, but I've been to.
Well, and just for the show, trading at $6.40, and now here we are at like $135, and it's TKO, and it's a completely different company, but
is.
it's the evolution.
Yes, a lot more talent friendly. It has become a lot more of a media company. Rather, it is still a live event company, but it's much more of a media company. A lot of things have changed. There's a real wrestling farewell. I had to pitch this idea to TKO, and hoping that they would see the business in it, and they were like, "Yes, this is going to be good, and this will help us solidify these relationships. Are you okay if in doing this you help us solidify these relationships? Let's do this, because it's either this or I tweet that I'm retired, and the other isn't going to help us at all."
Right.
So I don't know if that conversation could have happened without the evolution of where it is. Man, I know that people now are now racing to get involved with this. So that's another metric that you can. Athletes are like, oh man, the Next in Line program, and then the way we reach out to independents through Evolve, and it's like our developmental territory is not a developmental territory. It's a legitimate standalone brand. Like that alone says like, oh, we just want to train these guys. We're gonna just throw it out there as a TV show. Oh, they're superstars now. Okay, great. All right, they've been in the ring for 2 months, but they're gonna be out there and just doing it. It's larger, but I think so. I think so.
I think you are such a massive part of this company's evolution. And I know you will continue to leave your mark even well beyond your in-ring years. And I know that's not your goal. It's not your goal to be a legacy persona, so to speak, but you can't help but be.
Well, so
Maybe not in a quadrillion years.
good to say. It's I'm not. A goal of mine isn't be an unforgettable personality, but I will say, I love the WWE. There are a lot of people who do. I love it as much as anyone, not more. As much as anyone can love something, the WWE, I love it as much as anybody does, and every interview, every movie set, all I do is like, this is just like WWE, guys. I used to think they were different, but this is I channel all my experiences through the crucible that I've been through, and I'll never not love it, no matter who owns it, no matter who runs it, no matter who the superstars are, no matter if I don't know them, if I'm caught up on programming, if I'm not. Once you get to that level, there's no way. It's like this place. I love lifting weights, and just because it's on the downslope doesn't mean I love it any less. Like, I will always love it, so of course I will always advocate for it, and I don't need an important title behind that. I don't need any title. When you guys finally are like, hey, thank you for your service. It's been great playing with you. and that happens because everything always ends, I'm not going to go out the next day and badmouth the thing that I love. And I don't use the word wrestling. I use the words WWE. Like, I don't like wrestling. I love WWE specifically. It's where I belong. So as long as that's a sentiment in my life, I'm always gonna try to get people to watch and try to get people to experience and get invested in, because man, it's made my life this crazy fucking roller coaster. And here we are sitting in the gym, one of us dressed for the occasion.
You know, it's like a big thing to figure out what to wear, right? Especially as a woman. And so
We both should have communicated with each
and you know,
other.
I thought about that. I'm like, I should have texted him last night and
We should have planned this out. Because apparently, what a cool exercise in snap judgment, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I got this figured out. It's a gym. They're gonna gym stuff. Stephanie McMahon, she's always
So this is a big part of
Never
me.
seen her in
and
athleisure.
Me evolving. Athleisure is the word.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's me being myself.
Yeah.
And whether it's in this show or on the podcast, I'm not a talking head. I'm not trying to be diplomatic in any way. I'm not spewing. I've actually been pulled back from spewing corporate numbers because they're just so ingrained in me.
Here's a question for you.
Yes.
When did you become so polished?
I don't know that I'm so polished, but I'm trying to undo the polish.
Man, you are like incredible. You and I have done a lot of, hey, we're going to have to speak to this group of people. And I'm usually the guy who's allowed to go out there and say fuck. And you have just such information. And when did you get so polished?
I think probably just experience. You know, it's like the 10,000 hours of whatever it is. I'm sure I've spoken for more than 10,000 hours.
It's impressive. It is. It is. It's super impressive.
Well, thank you coming from you. That means a lot.
No, yeah, impressive. But I'm also glad that you're comfortable showing yourself. Like, this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be anybody else but you. I don't
That's
think
right.
the conversation suffered because of our attire.
No, it certainly did not. But
And-
you look fantastic. And
So do you.
I'm maybe not.
What are you doing? Listen, I got two looks. One is this, and the other one's that. And I literally just thought it would be cool juxtaposition.
That's what I was thinking when I'm like, as we're sitting down, I'm like, oh, if I were dressed up, it would be so cool. Because then it's like us in like the counter
But we
positioning.
didn't communicate.
We didn't communicate. We didn't.
But it's brought us
still
to
works.
this.
It
It
still
absolutely still works. And we don't have jujitsu mats, but you can work out if you want to after this. You're just for the occasion.
thanks. Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know if you were gonna try to make me do something, so I came ready.
I appreciate that. I'm also we're actually pretty good in here about allowing people to train how they want. Mm-hmm. It's like I said, we're trying
As
to
long as they're training hard.
bring the best out of folks.
Yeah.
So whatever gets you to be your best, whatever gets you to ring that bell over there, you're good.
Ringing the bell. What does that mean?
That is something that I picked up from a gym I saw it at, and it was it's a personal best bell.
Huh.
And I saw they had a very small one, and I was like, all right, we need to get a ship's
Real
bell.
Yeah.
And it's just a way. Sometimes there's only one or two people in here. Sometimes there's a whole lot more. And regardless of the attendance, if you are here alone and you ring the bell, it is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's just another check down to be present. Take a second, realize what just happened, because what just happened was you thought you were capable of something, and you just moved the needle beyond what you thought you were capable of. And now you know that that's now possible, and where else can you go? And that's all tied to that metal and rope. And it's just that one last check down of man, I didn't even think that was possible, and now I did it. What's next?
So as a part of my personal passion for pediatric cancer, kids ring the bell. And I'm sure adults do too, but I know of kids ringing the bell at the hospital when they're done with their last treatment. And there's nothing better
It's
than
awesome.
ringing that bell.
Yeah. And it becomes essentially what you make it. It is just metal and rope. But
That's what it signifies.
it is making the impossible possible. And there's never a sweeter sound.
You are the #1 Make-A-Wish granter of all time. How did you become that? And why do you make it so, why is it so important to you to grant these wishes for these kids?
That's a multi-parter. How did I become that? That's because of WWE, because of you guys. I don't think without you I would have found that charity. My first experience was an accident. I was dragged into a room where the family was supposed to meet another superstar, and eventually did. But like, going
Sure.
everybody's under one roof backstage, and like, here, while you're waiting for whomever, meet some of the other people. And I just shook hands with people, and when I left, they're like, "Oh, that was the Make-A-Wish family. Thanks for doing that." And I was like, "What's that?" And I was introduced to the concept. WWE and Make-A-Wish, as you know, you are probably loaded with more stats than me. They've been together for a long time, and I don't think that there is a better environment for Make-A-Wish, or I think WWE is one of the top environments for Make-A-Wish, because you can get intimate connection, and then you get immediate suspension of disbelief. You get a true day off. If you've ever been in a WWE audience, you think about nothing but what's going on right then and there, and you lose yourself. And on top of that, because we're entertainment, when you really begin to lean into the process, you can like, "Hey, you want to see anything out there tonight? Yes, I would like you to hit a home run, and I would like you to use this maneuver. My Rolodex, who I'm wrestling, what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll do it. You will? Yeah, sure. Where you sitting? I'll make sure to notice you." And it becomes something that is so vast, can become so intimate. And like, it's just me and that family out there for just a split moment in time, and no one knows the difference. They're in on it, I'm in on it. I'm not going into business for just us. The show doesn't suffer one bit, but it becomes like a true something special. WWE is one of the top environments for the Make-A-Wish experience. I don't know how much participation I'll have outside of WWE, because my life is boring outside of WWE. It's not like it doesn't offer the same escapism, it doesn't offer the same experience, and I would want whomever is wanting to meet me, I would want them to do it at an event, so I can show up like this and do my thing, and then be like, "Hey, but go watch these people. This is going to be great." A lot of the escape and a lot of the excitement is in the event. Important. That's a good word to use. It's a good word because when you learn what the charity is, of like, these are children and families facing some harsh conditions, and we have the ability to make crazy things happen, and they were chosen to have one crazy thing happens, and they want to hang out with you. If I were to neglect that, to me that lives outside my values. And I would like to think that that is, I'm okay with someone not putting that in their front. But I think when they understand that philosophy, if they don't have at least 5 minutes of their 24 hours to spend with that family connecting at a performance they're already attending and going to participate in, I don't know how significant a relationship I would have with that person. So I've done wishes like as they're playing my music. It's like, you think that this whole thing is important, and it is, because a lot of people pay good money to be entertained, and this is what they want to put their resources to, and it's very meaningful to them. But then it's like, do you have a few seconds to do this? Because these are the conditions on which I need your seconds, and I will hold up everything. Yes, I do. or I'll bring kids out there with me. Like, we gotta go. Let's go. Like,
Hear that? That's my music.
It has been so beautiful in that, like, no matter what, time stops for this thing. There's always just a few seconds, and that can make the difference. So it's important to me because it's in the pocket with my values. I'm aware of the number because it raises awareness for the charity so we can do more wishes. Period. End of story. I'm fine with who I am as a human being, and that doesn't define me. But I will never leave somebody in the lurch in that regard. Like, anytime it's like, oh, Make-A-Wish wants you to do this. No problem. Let's do it.
Do you think in any way you or WWE provide hope?
Man, everything can provide hope. So 100%.
And
Yeah.
how important is hope?
Without hope, there's nothing. That's just my perspective.
Right.
Like, once you lose hope, you have abandoned, like, I'm no longer going in that direction. So we're talking about hope for survival. So once you've abandoned hope, you're no longer going in that direction. That's the end of the story. Like, hope is in my lens one of the most powerful things. If you still believe that something can happen and you have hope that it can, hopefully you're putting rubber to road and making those things happen. And, like, again, man, it just gives these families a day off. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I don't come in here every day. You can't. The days off are as valuable as the days on. When you are climbing that hill every day, a day off is real useful. And it can you're right, it can provide very valuable hope. And you never know what that can do. It might do nothing, but it might not do nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's a gamble I'm going to push in on.
Connor's dad,
Mm-hmm.
Connor, who we lost, I was having this exact conversation with him about the opportunity. I'm so glad you brought it up, because it's not just about meeting the person, right, the superstar, but then it's about, like, the ultimate distraction being out there. And for 3 hours or however long it lasts, that child doesn't have to think about being sick or what medications they're going to take or anything like that. And those parents are watching their child be free of all of that and hopefully free of pain,
Yeah.
even for a few moments. And I was having this conversation with Connor's dad, and he said, Steph, it lasts a whole lot longer than a few hours.
Yeah.
So just thank you for making such a difference and providing so much hope to so many kids and their families throughout all these years.
I truly appreciate that. But you know
But
what?
it matters.
It
really matters.
The cool thing is,
you have no
like,
idea
yeah, I
the
get it.
impact you've made and the hope you've provided. And that hope really does make a difference, and it can help some kids push past their illness.
I believe and agree with you, but I'm not in it for the thanks.
I know, but I'm saying it anyway.
Okay, cool. That's cool. That's cool. I was there. Like, I know. I lived all that stuff. I know. And it's the cool thing about those moments is that I can tell, because of how emotional you are, that it's an absolute boomerang. Whatever you think you give to somebody, they give back to you exponentially. And whatever you've given and whatever somebody can say that you've given, the reason you're emotional is because they gave you just as much. You still wear that emotion on your wrist. Like, I never need a thank you from anybody, which is kind of like, I got to get out of my own way a lot of times on, like, especially words of affirmation. I'm fucking horrible at that. But I don't need a thank you because I was there. That's enough. And
More than enough.
It still gives. Like, man, I have cruddy days just like everybody else. But when I'm sifting through the crud, trying to get clean, a lot of those moments help me do that. The experience says thank you to me more than enough. So before I show you around, because you can see everything,
Right.
what stands out?
So
What do you see when you walk in here?
I did see the Marines, right? And so I did not know that you wanted to be a Marine before you got into WWE.
I wanted to be a Marine because one, I thought they didn't refuse anyone. Two, I knew I would always have a roof over my head. Three, I loved uniforms. Waking up early, I knew I'd be able to work out and I'd be well fed. So I chose the Marines because I failed at everything else. Like I tried to apply my degree and no strength company would take me or fitness company would take me. I got a job. The best I could do was disassembling fitness equipment in a warehouse because I wasn't good enough to go on like the fitness install crew. I failed
And this is after college.
yeah, like I got a fucking degree from a university that specializes in like ex-phys kinese, and I just couldn't put it into practice. I tried to be a cop. I failed the CHP exam. Like I was like, man, I kind of just working the front desk at Gold's Venice, and that's enough. Like I get to train every day. It's cool. I'm well fed. I'm good. But I gotta think more long term. Like, what's the next play? And I wanted to remain physical. I wanted to keep myself at a top level of performance. And I'm like, the Marines, they pretty much seem like they would do that. And it was in San Diego at the time, like it still is, Pendleton. So I was gonna drive down and sign up. And like literally the weekend I was gonna go, my buddy was like, man, we're training over in Orange County. Would you ever want to do that? It's like, I'll take a look at it. And I remember driving into LA Boxing. It's a one-story glass building, and I could see the ring through the glass. And I was like, I am going to work this shitty job to do this as a hobby. I never thought I'd make money doing it. But I think those are the best discoveries of like, I will deal with the suck Monday through Friday because on the weekends I'll be a superhero. And that's how I approached it. And I just took to training like I took to training.
Are you a patriot? Because there seems to be a lot of patriotism in this gym.
I am eternally grateful for the inalienable rights. I believe in the words of the Constitution. I think.
Well, and I don't need to use this question as like a political, what side are you on or anything
No,
like
but
that. I don't mean it like
the
that.
cool thing about that is immediately somebody's going to be reactive to my answer, which is
Right.
great because then I really have to think about what you're saying instead of being like, yeah, let's move on. I love the idea of the United States of America, like love it. I realize how lucky I am in the world, especially to travel and live in other places, to be born and raised here. It is a wonderful place. Not perfect, but I'll take it. I'm not leaving. I truly do love the respect that's given to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because if my purpose, if my why is to just live fulfilled, now I'm in a place of imaginary lines on the sand, which embraces that. As a matter of fact, that's your right. I think that's super cool. What I admire about people in service is that they have signed a contract to say that if it gets tough, I will make the ultimate sacrifice for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I'm not sure I have the courage to sign that paper. And that's why I look at people who have served this country as heroes. Because in that one moment where they sign up, whether they are pushing papers, cooking food, or grabbing a weapon and standing a post, they have all agreed that the idea is larger than their existence. And that is a level of commitment that I admire and that I'm inspired by. And that makes all the moments that I've been able to spend with our servicemen and women, regardless of where it is, from Texas to Afghanistan, it's super, super special because I don't even have to know these people, but their uniform is an indicator of the commitment they've made, and that commitment is something that I don't know if I'm courageous enough to do. But I love this place so much that when I see that uniform and I know that they're a veteran or active service, they're a hero of mine because they're protecting the idea. And they are essentially protecting my purpose to live fulfilled. They are willing to face any adversity for that. And that is real special to me. So, yes. Yes, I am.
Do you remember your first exposure to WWE?
Yeah. You guys did something in conjunction with MTV to build up WrestleMania 1. And it showed the
The
entire...
Rock and Wrestling Connection.
It showed MTV, showed the entire match of Hogan Sheik, MSG, where Hogan won the championship. So I watched that in my next door neighbor, acres away. He had to go through a path in the woods to get to this kid's house. My parents wouldn't let us watch MTV.
Okay.
And we could always watch MTV at this other kid's house. And in watching MTV, we saw wrestling. Now, I could watch wrestling. I knew my dad was a wrestling buff, and I couldn't differentiate. It was always on. So
Right.
I didn't know anything. But when MTV made it cool, and
That
so
was
you have
cool.
to think, like, this is 84?
Yeah. WrestleMania
Maybe.
was 85.
Yeah, so this is the lead up. Let's say 84. I'm 7 to 8 years old. And now I'm like, yo, this is the coolest thing ever. And because wrestling was on MTV, I got to watch MTV. And so did my dad. And it was like it was kind of a way for us to do something cool. And it was so larger than life, and it was so incredible, especially to a young mind of like, man, superheroes are real. Can you believe this is happening? And of course, my dad is into it. It always
Right,
has
right.
been. So I have the governing figure in my life going, yeah, this is great. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then enough of a fandom with the four brothers, 5 of us together, a lot of voices.
Sure.
This is the best. So then it just became, you guys like wrestling? Well, I watch wrestling all the time. Sit, watch. But it was that specific, that was my introduction. The Rock and Wrestling build to WrestleMania 1 with, I saw the full match in its entirety of Hulk Hogan defeating the Iron Sheik.
Wow.
Yeah. That was it. You?
Oh, I mean,
That you remember.
so there's not a moment where I remember watching or being exposed for the first time, but there is a moment, my first live event experience. And I was between 3 and 5. And we went backstage. And I remember being surprised at what backstage looked like. You know, it was so cold. Like just
The action's out there.
yeah, concrete blocks, linoleum floors, fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
It was very unappealing.
Yeah.
But lining the halls are, all of these big, huge guys and all different looks, and everybody wants to talk to my dad. So we walk in, and I'm not sure where Shane was, but my mom goes off to go do something. My dad gets pulled into a conversation, so I'm kind of just standing in the hallway. And I walk down the hallway, what seems like an endless hallway. I'm sure it wasn't very long. And all of a sudden, this group of kids comes screaming down the other side of the hall. I can't see where they're coming from, but they are screaming for their lives. And they go running by. And then all of a sudden, I see why. And there's George the Animal Steele, who is full on hairy back, green tongue. He had just come out of the ring. And he's like doing this whole motion, and he sees me, not knowing who I am, but I'm like a kid in the back, and he starts coming for me. And now I scream at the top of my lungs. I run straight for my dad. I run up his leg. I bury my head in his shoulder, like fully expecting my dad, my hero, to annihilate this thing that's before me. And he started to laugh. And I remember even being so little thinking like, well, something's off, right? Like, why is he laughing? And he proceeded to introduce me to Jim Myers, who is like horrified he just scared the boss's kid, right? But obviously my dad had such a great reaction, it didn't matter. And I learned that he is actually a school teacher. And I didn't believe it necessarily at the time looking at this man, but it was my first kind of inkling into what the business really was and how special it was. And I have just been hooked ever since. I mean, I always was hooked.
2 very different first moments.
Very.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah.
But I was around for the Rock and Wrestling Connection, and
course you
I
were.
was a huge fan of MTV. That's all I ever watched.
Of course.
So for me to also
We're
see
the
it,
same path.
yeah. I'm a little older than you are.
By like a few months.
I'm still older. It's a thing.
You know what? I get that.
I'm older.
That's cool. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
I'm owning it. I'm okay with it.
No, it's fine. You have a little bit more wisdom.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
I wouldn't say that. But I am older. But so being on MTV,
I love how
though,
you had to shoehorn that last one in. No, hey, I'm older though. But seriously, whatever we're talking about,
No,
I'm older.
I mean I'm older, so I can say it. You know.
That's cool.
But
That's fine.
But when I was watching MTV
As an older
as
person
an
than
older
me.
person,
Yep.
than you, it was also very cool. You know, because I loved
course.
MTV, but to me it was like the natural segue. Like, of course MTV would be talking about WWE, and Cyndi Lauper would have Captain Lou in her "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" video. Like that's who we are. We're
Great
larger
move.
than
You got
life,
me.
right?
You got me. This
Yeah.
is now cool. I will
So
say.
I would like to know,
Yeah.
what is the most, either I'll give you some scenarios. What is the most valuable lesson or standout moment that you can remember as a kid with your mom?
Okay. Standout moment is that I guess perception is everything, and communication is a very valuable asset. When we were kids, we were bad kids. Bad kids. When we fought, we would fight with chainsaws,
Oh my God,
and we would chase each other with kitchen knives. And
bad.
so there's 5 of us, and it's like my brother's 51, I'm 48, 47, 46, 43. So like my mom is just pregnant for a lot of times.
Yeah, yeah.
So by the time 5 comes out, she's probably just happy to be around. And she kind of I don't want to say gave up, but I think she regressed to the fact that like, as long as at the end of the night, if I count 5,
They're breathing.
I think we're good. Which is okay. But like, if she would watch 2 of us, the other 3 would grab like as many crayons as we could out of the Crayola box and run on the walls. And just, my mom and my dad was working, and it was like, my mom was just like, and she would stop the person from the crayons, and then somebody grabs a chainsaw to chase your little brother around the house. We were
Why
not.
did you have so many chainsaws?
We lived in the fucking woods. Trees fall all the time. You need to remove said trees. The same reason we had a snowblower or some shit like that. Like, trees fall.
Okay.
Why do we have knives? I don't know.
Well,
It's a
nice.
tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
We lived in the fucking woods.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
My brother had done something to me, and my house is kind of shaped like you could run around a track. It was like a room, a room, a room, a room. So you could run. And man, I was chasing him. And my mom was on the phone. And it was like one of those long phone cords. And she's doing the TV bit where she's getting,
Wrapped up in it? Oh no.
I think I was like sub 10.
Okay.
She can only grab one of us. I'm about to get my brother. She grabs me. I turn and just knock the wind out of her. No, just wham, right after my brother again. Dive tackle. We beat the shit out of each other. I'm telling the story. I don't have many memories from that. I remember that as if I'm living the moment right now. And like, you make weird noises when you get the wind knocked out.
Oh yeah.
Can hear my mom making those weird noises. She hangs up the phone, breaks us up. My dad instituted whatever governance he had when we got home. That was necessity. The situation worked itself out. For years, I carried shame of that moment of like, this is the worst thing I've ever done to my mom. In years later, this is like 4 years ago, where mom and I started leaning into like, was I a difficult child? What were your aspirations before you had kids? What was it like being pregnant with 5 of us? Did you want to move to West Newbury? What's the worst thing I ever did to you? And I'm expecting her to retell this story.
Right.
She says something completely different that I did to her in my late 20s. And I'm like, I don't even remember that. And she goes, I don't even remember what you said. So it was
Isn't that
weird,
interesting?
like a takeaway moment for my mom is, first of all, perception is everything. I perceived that to be the worst thing I'd ever done. And then communication is so important because I had the courage to ask my mom, knowing the answer wouldn't be good. She told me something completely different. And she told me she didn't give a fuck about the thing I did, which was great because I got to shed the weight of shame that I had, and I got to apologize for something that I thought was meaningless and probably did in a situation where I wasn't exactly myself.
Are you ready to hold WWE history in the palm of your hand? Topps is bringing you closer to the action than ever before with WWE Topps Now, highlighting the biggest matches and milestones from WWE shows and PLEs throughout the year. Topps Now is enhancing the fan experience by connecting collectors to the superstars and spectacles that ignite their passion. Featuring stunning event-exclusive photography, each card is made for the moment. And for some lucky collectors, that moment could become the pull of a lifetime. Along with serial numbered parallels, some Topps Now releases offer a chance at rare short prints, superstar autographs, and even pieces of the mat, gear, or other items used during the featured match. So which moments will you collect? With each card only available for a limited time, you won't want to wait to begin your Topps Now journey. Be sure to subscribe to the WWE Topps Now mailing list on Topps.com and follow Topps on all social media platforms so you never miss a single moment.
I'm trying to keep you here forever, and I'm doing pretty good.
You are. You're doing
I've
excellent.
forced you to pivot on your transportation.
Yes.
Thanks for doing that.
No, of course.
Besides this, what's been your most interesting conversation?
Besides this, I find that there are themes that are resonating.
Okay.
And regardless of who it is, there's a consistency in messaging that stands out to me.
I will change my question. What are the consistent messages through all these
I
conversations
was going naturally.
that you
I was going
find
naturally.
you've
So it's
experienced?
a lot of hard work that a lot of people don't deem themselves the smartest or the most talented, but they're the hardest worker. Always be the hardest worker. The theme of failure being important to success, to learn from your mistakes, fail forward, but no, don't be afraid of failure. I've found that passion is a big key, although most people can't articulate that, but it's like almost an obsession is how I've heard people describe things. Obsession for the business, obsession for whatever it is. I've interviewed, a couple of CEOs as well. Obsession for what they do, that drives them, and I think those are some of the key messages, that just keep coming out. And pivoting. Pivoting's really important. That keeps coming up in different ways, and it's like you think you're headed in one direction, and you're so focused on it, and you've trained for it, and you've done whatever it is, all the legwork, everything, you think this is where you want to go, and then for whatever reason it doesn't work out. Either you wind up going to the bar that night because circumstances are what they are, or whatever you're trying to achieve just actually doesn't work, and you can't meet that end goal no matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
So instead of continuing to just butt your head up against the wall, where do I look next?
What can we do?
What can we do? Those are some of the themes, and you've talked about a lot of those themes today here as well. Courage, though, is one that people haven't talked about that I think is important to name, because having the courage to take risks, having the courage to pivot, having the courage to not be complacent. Is that believing in yourself? Is that throwing caution to the wind? Is that something grander? I don't know. But having the courage to put yourself out there, having the courage to be vulnerable, having the courage to be you. I think those are some of the most valuable takeaways, and consistent.
Could also be having the courage to not take the risk. It's kind of like
Sure.
I stated
I
earlier.
guess that's a great
of like,
point.
I always, well, sink the Titanic is a phrase that I use in the circle of like, I'd like to try this new thing. This is my perspective on it. Okay, sink the Titanic. Give me the absolute worst that can happen. Well, the absolute worst that can happen is the phone never rings again. Would I run right? Yes. Would I run right with my partner? Yes. Thoughts? Maybe we should try it. Like,
The worst that can happen isn't so bad.
or
Or is it?
sometimes the worst that can happen if I continue at a full-time physical capability or involvement, I'm not going to run right, and my partner's not going to run right, and our relationship isn't going to run right. Sorry, kid. It's time to close this chapter because that's a risk I'm not willing to take. So also the courage to say no to something I really,
really
love
important.
and would love to do to infinity. I wish I was 18. I wish I felt great because I don't feel more at home besides in the arms of my wife than I do on a canvas. I just feel at home. Like, and it's not just me and the performer I'm working with, it's the audience. As soon as you get me out to where the lights are on, I'd like to think it's just like ones and zeros. And it's just like, man, okay, right on. I'll do this. They'll say that. They didn't. Well, that's surprising, but I'll just do this, and maybe we'll get them back. And I would love to do it into infinity, but that's the courage to say no. So a lot of times, the courage is in the leap, and I think we can justify, or something that helps me is sink the Titanic. Tell me what I'm going to leverage. Are you willing to lose this? No, then don't take the risk.
Have you always been so analytical in your approach to things?
Maybe, again, like, I don't know what an answer 2006 me would give you or teenage me would give you, but like, I guess I've always known that like, this is probably going to be a good risk. Go for it. From going to boarding school, I lived in school at 15, like making that choice of leaving West Newbury where like nobody leaves. But that gave me such a jump start on college, which gave me social fluency and diversity that I desperately needed, along with male mentorship, a different level of team sport participation, which pretty much paid for my college education, like a ton of domino effects from that one risk. And it wasn't all wins. Like I had to wash dishes in the dining hall when other kids are in suits eating nice formal dinners, and like, but I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I've always been okay. Like, yeah, just go for this. See what happens. You know, talk more about passion and obsession. This is a topic that has like been really something that I like to lean into. You say obsession comes up a lot.
Obsession.
How do you feel about that?
So I was at a marketing conference once, and whichever company it was, they were talking about being obsessed with your customers.
Yeah.
And I loved the notion of it. I was like, oh, that is exactly how you should be. You should obsess over your customers, in our case, our fans. Like, what do they want? How can we give them what they want at an affordable price? How can we give them an experience that they'll remember for the rest of their lives? How can we keep them a fan forever and make them want to make their families fans? How can we, trying to think of all of those different things of being obsessed with your fan or your customer. And I think, I don't know how I necessarily feel about, I guess it depends on, are you obsessed to a fault? Like if I were so obsessed with even just WWE, so take the whole company, right? I would argue my dad obsessed, much more so than obsessed. The company is him. That's all he could focus on and think about, right, is the company. Do you have trade-offs there, that can impact and affect other people? Maybe you don't care about that. Maybe your obsession is just your obsession. So I think it's different for the person, right? The person who's obsessed is doing well usually because you are obsessed with it. You're never going to let it go. You're never going to let it die. You're always going to try things. You're always going to be driving forward, unless you're a terrible business person, which could happen. But I think if you're very obsessed about something, whatever it is you're trying to do, seemingly, at least in the people I've spoken to thus far, it will be successful. I do think there's trade-offs. But again, the trade-offs might not matter to that person who is so obsessed. So I don't know is the answer. I think obsession to a degree maybe is the best way to answer it. If you really want to make something happen, but I don't think you ever want it to compromise your character or your integrity or your values. And as long as you're not doing that, it could be healthy. It could be a healthy obsession. But I think there's a lot of unhealthy obsessions too. So I don't think you can define it in, one way, like everything else. There's multiple sides to it. What do you think?
I hear that.
But passion, sorry, I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
Critical. I think passion is critical to being successful in life. And that's just me, right? I believe very much in passion. I like I've said, I love to love. And I love being passionate about what we do. I'm passionate about my family. I'm passionate about the people that I love and I care about. I think passion is something that is underrated. So I think passion is critical. Obsession can go either way.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts.
I think that's well said. I think obsession is the point where passion becomes flawed. And you do kind of, but then again, like I was head over heels obsessed with the business, and it brought me tremendous opportunity. But in my wake, I wasn't really a good person, or I wasn't really adding to the relationships that were supposed to be important in my life, because I was so tunnel visioned on doing this one thing. I think obsession is the point where passion becomes flawed.
It's interesting.
And I think having passion for something, you can still be successful. I think it keeps you accountable for your minutes and responsible, and you have to define, like, this is the most important thing in my life, so I'm going to put all my time nuggets toward this, or I'm going to continually ask whoever is in my life to kind of bend around what I'm doing, because I'm really passionate about this. I got one shot at it. I'd like to give it my best go. Let's hear from everybody. What does everybody think? I think obsession becomes the point where if I'm obsessed with that battery on the floor, I'm not going to look at anything but that. Regardless of what happens around me, I'm not going to take my eyes off it. It's going to be the focus of everything that I do. As soon as I wake up, from the second I go to sleep,
But it's not going to run out because you're going to make sure it's drained. You're going to make sure it's plugged in. You're going to make sure it's,
or
because you're obsessed about it.
or let's say I'm obsessing about it because it's debris on the floor.
Okay.
I could become obsessed about keeping this place clean. And I could become so involved in that obsession that my life outside of that obsession erodes. This place could be immaculate, but my life outside could be catastrophic because I'm obsessed with the condition of this place. You know what I mean?
I do.
So I think that's kind of where I settle on that. I think obsession is the point where passion becomes flawed. And
interesting.
you mentioned the word trade-off. I think it is a trade-off, and it is the thing you are obsessed with. Everything else falls in the wake.
It owns you.
Like, yes, and you can achieve an incredible sense of fluency and mastery at the cost of everything else. Everything else. And then it goes from there, I guess. But yeah, I think it's at least from my own personal experiences, the things that I've been obsessed with have faltered my behavior in other things that are important to me in life.
So there's no such thing as a healthy obsession.
In my mind, no, because I would look at that as like when people say, oh, this is my cheat day. Like, this is a day I don't have to be accountable, is what I hear when someone's like, a cheat day. You should just say, this is the day I'm going to make poor decisions with my nutrition. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like there are little, it's perception is reality. I don't ever use the word deserve. I just don't use it. I like to use the word earn
Yeah.
because it makes you accountable. Like, oh man, treat yourself to that. You deserve it. Treat yourself to that because you earned it. Did I really? Yes. Cool. Let's do it. And one of the reactions from the WWE universe that twists a dagger in my heart every time they say it is "you deserve it."
You deserve it. Yeah.
I use that. This is the only spoiler I'll give because that it like tramples on my value. We deserve nothing. We should be grateful to wake up every day, and what we earn is what we can be satisfied with, I guess. So like just little fail safes like that of like healthy obsession or like cheat day or I deserve. I try to anything that like blurs into the gray and gives you an excuse to behave a certain way that allows you not to walk the talk
Do you ever not walk the talk?
all the time. And that's why I have good people around me to keep me accountable all the time. Like it's tough. It's damn near impossible. But you just want to set yourself a bunch of goals and hopefully an outline on how to live and just have when you're put in the ground, have more good days than bad. And a failure starts at a 59. D minus is a 60. So if I can live a below average life, but not a fail at a 60, I'm cool. Like that's more wins than losses. It is just passing as virtuous by my definition of what I have.
Right. By your own rules.
And then you can strive for, I don't want to be a D minus student. I'd like to be an average student. I'd like to be above average.
But again, it's your grading system of yourself,
Sure.
right?
But
It's not anyone else's opinion.
we also all know what we want people to believe we are and who we really are. And if at the end of the day, you talk some shit that you're some person, but you're really another person, you know when that last page shuts, what's up. And
But only you know.
that's all that matters. 'Cause
Right.
no one's going to remember any of this shit anyway. I'm serious. That's
Yeah.
like
But that's the thing. You have to stay accountable to yourself.
And we
It's
are-
not being accountable to anyone else in your life. It's being accountable to you and the values that you think are important and
Yeah.
that you want to live by.
that shit is tough to do.
Yeah. And some people don't have them at all. And they're very fine.
But that's in itself, absence of traditional virtuous values is value. Some people don't even think about it. Mm-hmm. Some people don't think of the concept of I got to be cool with myself or like, man, I have 4, so I'm not going to put them on blast. I was talking to my brother, going through a rough patch, having coffee. I love to lean in for conversations like this with coffee. Half-empty guy, thinks the world is against him. And I start talking to him like, you really think this whole place is spending all this time here? I don't know. Man, I just want to be happy. Okay, what's happy? What do you mean? What's happy for you? What's that? What does a win look like?
Right.
I never thought about that. Okay, you don't have to be half full. You don't have to be an optimist. Here's what I believe. If you don't know what the fuck happy is, how can you even take one step towards
it.
happy? Happy is financial security. Okay, what are you doing to move in that direction? Nothing. Good luck.
Right.
You don't want to be happy from what I'm hearing. Happiness is health and mobility. I want to drop 10 pounds. What are you doing? Nothing. Do you really want to do that? I tell my wife this all the time and my friends too. I always say I want to be a better brother because it sounds nice. I don't. Because I do nothing to be a better brother. Nothing. It sounds nice. Like I got 4 brothers. You close to them? Man, I want to try to be better than that. I don't. Mm-hmm. Because right now, it's not the driving force of importance to me. I want to be the best husband for my bride. I want to keep love and connection in my life. And I want to make anybody who places a bet on me, I want to make sure they feel good about it, win, lose, or draw. Those are like the things that I give a shit about. But that's an example of me not walking the talk. I say every year, man, I'm going to be a better brother this year. And I fail every year because it's a nice thing to say. But I don't mean it. I don't put any muscle behind it.
Yeah.
And one of these years I might. I don't know. I wanted to mend my relationship with my dad. I fucking went to work on that and we're doing good.
Yeah.
I wanted to have a better relationship with my mom. I went to work on that. We're doing great. Like, the brother example is a great example of me not walking the talk. But I couldn't believe it when my brother was like, I don't know what happy is.
Yeah.
Yo, I just want to play video games all day. Fine. I don't care. You can make a great living doing that.
That's true.
For real.
Yeah.
Great times we live in.
You know, they even have like physical trainers.
They got stadiums.
Yeah. But for like reaction time.
Of course they do. Because it's a sport.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, but what are you doing to do that?
Right.
When I found a ring, I literally told myself, I will clean toilets to do this on the weekends. Not like, this is my golden ticket where I'm going to make it. Fuck all that noise. I want to dress up in a costume and have a weird haircut on Saturday night at an outdoor barbecue in Northern California. And to do that, I'm going to clean the toilets at Gold's Gym Venice. Like, all right, take steps towards your happiness.
Right. You have to work for it.
Yeah.
And you have to earn it.
Or at least fucking identify it.
Identification
at least know what it is.
Definitely, yeah. That's, you got to know what you want.
You hitting that moment through a series of tough times of like, husband, kids. That's it. That's what makes me happy. Now you can make decisions
Based on
to
that.
make yourself happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so many people out there don't even approach the concept of happiness. And on the other side of the coin, when we talked about obsession, you find that one thing that makes you so happy. Everything
you
else
just don't
doesn't
want
matter.
anything
You just
else.
want to fucking do that one thing that makes you happy. But at least you've identified what happiness is. And sometimes people are obsessed, just do the thing because they're good at it and they're not even really happy.
Yeah.
Because they never ask themselves, like, what is happy? I don't know what makes me happy.
And then the ability to pivot. Right? I thought this was going to make me happy.
What makes me happy now? Man,
Yeah.
the younger me would have
I'm
been
tired of
so
playing video
mad.
games.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's also okay because we get in a lot of loops of like, you spoke about it earlier. I'm defined as this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm judged as this. I'm judged as Vince McMahon's daughter. I'm judged as this because of my presence in the business. This is what defines me. You are a whole hell of a lot more than that. We all are.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever anybody thinks about any of this is just what they think about it.
Yep. And you can't control what they think.
That's a really tough gray area to dance in wrestling because WWE fans think you're you, hell or high water. And they do know me, but they don't know all of me.
Sure.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been in their living room for every Monday night for 25 years. We have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen generations of folks. I can imagine you have too, but when grown men come up to me, like Hillbilly Jim Beard over there going like, yo, man, I grew up watching you. And I'm like, you can't. You're a grown-ass man.
You're
with a
older than I am.
with a full beard. How does this happen? It's because I'm 30 and I found you when I was 9 and you helped me through this and like, oh, the math checks out. I'm old. Not as old as you, but
No, because I'm older than you would establish that. But there are some people who are significantly older who still say that I watched you when I was a kid. And I'm looking at these people sometimes like, you are 20 years older than I am. But they feel that way.
They look 20 years old.
No,
Some people
they
live fast.
are.
Some people live fast. A fun hill to climb is when like a 14-year-old comes up and is like, man, I used to watch you when I was a kid. I'm like, you are a kid.
You are a kid.
You have so many mistakes to make. My God, you don't even know. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I find out what makes you happy. You ask for words of you want to encourage people. Identify what makes you happy, I think is huge.
It's a great point.
Realize you're enough, period. Move on from there. And like, if you lack happiness in your life and you want to be happy, identify what that is. I'm working my ass off and I don't get any sleep. Sleep's gonna make you happy, get sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way, like take small steps. I'm not asking you to quit your job and sleep 12 hours a day, but if you track your sleep. I slept 3 hours last night. Can you move it to 3.5?
Unless you become obsessed, which is what happened to me. And I had the ring, and I'd constantly wake up and see how I slept.
See, that's a
And I was like, oh, I never
what a
slept
cool
well.
exercise of like me looking at the battery on the floor. All you did was look at the ring.
And all I did, like, how'd I sleep? It didn't matter how I felt.
I track all those stats. I have calories, body weight, caffeine, water, and sleep for like the past 10 years of my life.
That's
I
really
only
interesting.
look at them when I feel bad. I just put the numbers in, set it and forget it, and then when like something's off, like indicators. Oh, dude, you're not sleeping. Or like everything's right and I still feel junky. I'll even go like, all right, blood work. What do the smart people say? And I still feel junky? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But like it's like a bumper guard at a bowling alley so I don't get in the gutter. You know?
Those are fantastic. I need those when I
Me
bowl.
too.
I'm not a good bowler. Not a good bowler.
Me neither.
And I hurt my wrist every time.
It's the worst, especially with these things. Try to, like the bowling balls they have, I have to use the heaviest one.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, you're using that big. I can't even, my hands barely fit. My wrist, I got this little calcium deposit. I can't even.
Yeah, can't even flex.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, we're both bad bowlers.
We will not go bowling together.
Stephanie, I've enjoyed this.
As have I.
I have to show you around
Okay.
because I want to have respect for your time. And I've heard you're a very busy person.
You're making assumptions now.
And I could do this all day. No, I'm not. I'm based on the people mean mugging me from over there. And she's going, get the fuck out of here. We gotta go. We gotta go.
You mean everyone was like this?
Thank you for making this easy for me. Thank you for coming to a place that's very important in my life. We'll take a quick look-see. But regardless of what hangs on the walls or lies on the floor, this has been a place of mental stability and growth for me over the past 20 years. And this conversation is absolutely what this place is about. This is a safe place for us to just jam and solve problems, and maybe, hopefully, when you leave here today, your backpack is a little bit lighter.
John, thank you. I mean, we can go out right on what you said, but just between us and everyone here. Thank you. Thank you for sharing so much of yourself and how you think and, getting to spend a little bit of time with the real you.
You've spent a lot of time with the real
I know,
me.
but not like sitting down really having long
I could have
conversations.
done this years ago. You would help me with so many mistakes.
See?
God damn it.
Well, I was in the process of making my own and many more mistakes to be made,
Yeah,
you know.
to the mistakes to come.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, indeed. But
To the mistakes to come.
now that I have you, and I don't know when I'm going to get your attention again besides your podcast in January, you've been very important and instrumental in my life. And I meant what I said. In the moments that I needed you there, without you even knowing, you were a guiding light that was unbelievably effective. And I know that's not over, so thanks for that.
I'm always here.
I know. All right, we hug it out.
Yep. Oh, I was going to tease you about the mic, and I was like looking at it, hoping you didn't hit your head, and then I did.